to our symposium, Education in the South Caucasus, Modernization, Innovation and Future Trends. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Stephen Jones. I am the Vice President of ARISC, the American Research Institute for the South Caucasus, which is the major sponsor of this symposium, very important symposium. And I would like to tell you a little bit about ARISC, but before I do that, may I ask you to stand and give us half a minute or so in memory of the people who died in Tbilisi last week as a result of the quake. Thank you very much. So let me tell you a little bit about ARISC and what it does. It's a non-profit organization that was founded in 2007. We do lots of things, such as support conferences and symposium like this. Our purpose is to create opportunities for young American scholars primarily to study the South Caucasus. And we also support with financial means. We have some fellowships and graduate fellowships to support those students. We also aim to establish connections with universities and scholars in the South Caucasus and to encourage connections between those scholars who work in Armenia, Azerbaijan and Georgia. So the purpose here is to try and establish those connections, those scholarly connections, and promote the study of the South Caucasus in the United States. We are supported generally by our members in the United States, but also from time to time when we apply for grants and we get them, we have funding from other organizations, including the Department of Education in the United States. So we're very happy to sponsor and develop programs and conferences like today's, and we're very glad that you managed to come. I think it's very important, obviously, that we focus on something like education in the South Caucasus. Obviously, one of the deepest and hardest problems to solve, and I guess Ilia will agree about that. It's, of course, extremely important. When I think about education, it's connected to absolutely everything in the Caucasus. It's connected to everything, of course, elsewhere too. But in terms of the strategic importance of education, we all know from research that there's no economic progress, there's no democratic progress unless there is investment in education. And it's very important for educationalists, academics and ministry officials or others to coordinate. In the South Caucasus in particular, it's extremely important that resources that are scarce are shared and developed among the three countries in the South Caucasus. So with that, I would like to introduce our hosts and thank a number of people. So this conference has been funded by a grant from the US Department of Education. We're very grateful to Giga Zedania and to Ilia State University, with whom we have a partnership, who have sponsored a number of events by ARISC and supporting this symposium. We also want to thank Open Society Georgia Foundation for funding a number of scholars, particularly Joanna Radowska from the United States. And we also received a private donation for this conference. This symposium was organized by a committee of ARISC, a subcommittee, including Stefan Asturian, Tracy Gilman, Jane Fritz Greenwood, who will be participating here, Christine Martirosyan Olshansky, and Lauren Riskvet from the University of Pennsylvania. And also I'd like to thank all the people here who have helped organize this conference. That would include Diana, who runs the ARISC, Diana Lejava, who runs the ARISC office here in Georgia, Susan Marokian, who runs the office in Yerevan, and Leila Rustami. Is Leila here? Yeah, Leila, from the office in Azerbaijan. All of them have been heavily involved in getting this conference off the ground. I would also like, of course, to thank Tallinn Lindsay, who has been absolutely central. She's our executive director, and without her, I don't know whether ARISC would survive. So I want to thank Tallinn for being so active and being so indispensable to ARISC and its activities here in the South Caucasus. And I know that Tallinn is now circulating in the South Caucasus, giving lectures on how to write grants and to help South Caucasian scholars think about how to apply for money and get financing for study abroad and study here. So thank you, Tallinn. So with that, I want to introduce you to Giga Zedania, who's going to say a few words on behalf of Ilia State, and also to Khatuna, Ioseliani. Khatuna is Open Society Georgian Foundation representative. Katie Kuzishvili was planning to be here but is sick, and so Khatuna stepped in, so I'd like to thank Khatuna for that. So once we've done those introductions, then we'll start with the first panel, Challenges in Education. I'll be moderating that panel, and I'm going to be quite strict. So we have about 20 minutes each for that, and I'll be holding up signs from time to time telling you how much time you have left. And then after a break, we're going to have a discussion about those presentations. So I'd like to hand it over to Giga. Thanks very much,
Well, I'd like to welcome you to Ilia State University. Unfortunately, you are not visiting this city in its best days. You know, the natural catastrophe has claimed lives, and 2 of them were this university graduates. But even in this context, or especially in this context, the reflection on the issue of education is topical, relevant, and important. In this country, there is a widespread feeling that if you would like to name the major challenge, it is education. And there is a feeling that if you want to name the major solution to all challenges, it is education. So I think that this symposium will give a more concrete meaning of what we mean under the heading of education, when we discuss the country's problems and challenges, but also solutions to those problems and challenges. And some of them have been already named by Stephen, and education's relation to the development of democratic society, but also I would say think development of knowledge-based society, economy would be an important issue. The university, Ilia State University, is not a bad place to start reflection on these issues. It was connected with the educational pedagogical profile since the days of its inception, or even before it, in the form of the institutions which were part of the merger out of which this university kind of developed and emerged. And we are trying to continue this profile by, for example, founding a School of Education, which we did last year, and giving an important place to not only teaching but also reflecting what is to be taught and how it is to be taught. I would like to thank the organizers of this conference and distinguished colleagues for putting this event together. Well, when seeing that registration starts at 8 o'clock, well, in this country, if it's not a future trend, it's definitely innovation. So it's a kind of shows the seriousness of the of the intentions of the participants of the symposium. So I would like to wish it all the success and express the hope that this is not kind of the unique meeting, but in these or other forms we will meet in the walls of this university many times. Thank you.
On behalf of Open Society Georgia Foundation, I would like to welcome all our distinguished guests to this important event. We are delighted to have you here. We are delighted to have you here to participate and share your experiences at this seminar that is dedicated to the challenges and prospects of education in three Caucasus countries. And thank you for coming. Our foundation has been involved in education for almost 20 years, and during this time we have supported many reform initiatives. Georgia has made a significant progress in reforming its education system and creating a new system more responsive to a rapidly changing world and increased international competition. But despite these achievements, there are still challenges that are related to quality and equity in education. Current Foundation's education program has priority directions which are aimed to improving quality of education, increasing access, and supporting public participation in the reform processes. In order to achieve these goals, the Foundation partners with well-established think tanks, NGOs, academia, and universities across Georgia. The current event aims at creating a forum for discussion and sharing of ideas among scholars, practitioners, and policymakers on challenges and prospects of education in the region. This is the first such kind of event, international symposium organized by ARISC in South Caucasus. We hope that the symposium will create a platform for Armenian, Azerbaijani, and Georgian scholars interested in higher education, lead to new ideas and joint initiatives, and establish a long-term cooperation between the scholars and academic representatives in the region. I want to say once again, welcome on behalf of Georgia Foundation, and I wish you